welcome to the Decentralized Daily Podcast, where you get your daily dose of cryptocurrency news and information. The crypto news that matters to you. Nothing on this program should be confused with investment advice, because we don't give you any. It's not that kind of show, guys. Just the facts here, just the facts. So sit back, relax, gather your thoughts, and prepare yourself for today's market movers in cryptocurrency. All right, guys. Welcome to another edition of Decentralized Daily. Today is Monday, the 5th of March, 2018. Let's take a look at our market movers. And number one, we got Bitcoin at 11316. It's $11,316. It's down 1.74%. And it looks like it may be going down significantly more over the course of the next 72 hours. So be on the lookout for that. Number two, we have Ethereum, $845. It's down 2.49%. Ripple at 0.96. It's down 2.3%. Bitcoin Cash at number 4 at $1,246.39, down 3.16%. At number 5, we have Litecoin at $208.19, down 1.74%. All right, let's take a look at our news of the day. Also, I want to thank Dustin for coming on to the daily episode. Today, we're going to talk a little Callisto and answer some of your Callisto questions, everything that we know so far.
I'm happy to be on. Probably not going to answer as many questions as we would hope.
It's a bright future, folks.
Right.
Speaking of a bright future, Taiwan Airlines accepts Bitcoin, seeing a bright future for the tourism sector. Taiwanese airline Fat Taiwan Far Eastern Air Transport, that's its real name, recently announced that it will accept Bitcoin payments, becoming the first airline in the country to accept cryptocurrency for tickets in a growing trend. And when they talk about a growing trend, they mean a growing global trend in the airline industry. I don't think they're very clear about that in the article. This article comes to you from Bitcoinist.com. It was written by Alan Scott today at 9 a.m. Taiwanese airline wants your Bitcoin. FAT's announcement on February 28th states that the airline will accept cryptocurrency payments, namely Bitcoin, for tickets and related travel services as it looks to become a pioneer in cryptocurrency adoption within the country's aviation industry. Passengers can now use Bitcoin in a convenient and discounted trading experience to pay for more than 20,000 flights. The airline's president, Zhang Guingji, explained that his company has a bright vision for the future of cryptocurrency, as it has proved to be a significant transaction tool over the past year. Zhang added, a widespread use of cryptocurrency in various situations will usher in a new future for the airline business, the lodging industry, OTA, and the entire tourism sector. Interesting note, FAT is about to be the number one airline to embrace cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Wow, what do you think about that, Dustin?
That's pretty interesting. It actually reminds me of an article I saw a couple of weeks ago that definitely drew my attention. I think it was the name of the article was Bitcoin for Boobs. And it was talking about
I'm listening.
A plastic surgery hospital or group or whatever in Houston that was starting to accept Bitcoin for payment. And, they wanted to do it because a lot of their customers were from different countries. So, transferring the euro or the yen or whatever to what got complicated and, just being able to buy it with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, because I think they were going to accept Bitcoin, Ether, and a couple of other ones, made it easier on some of their customers. And one of the biggest questions when you start accepting a cryptocurrency is, what about the exchange, not necessarily the exchange rate, because that's what they were dealing with, but the time frame of once you go to purchase something, and then if Bitcoin goes up or down in that time frame, what do you do about that? Do you lock it in at a price? And so that's one thing I could see about the airlines. You end up paying at one time, and by the time you take your flight, you've paid $50 more for the ticket.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if there's a bunch of people shitting on the stock, like right before they buy their ticket. So like right before they got to buy the ticket, they're just trying to short it, basically. And so they're posting a bunch of spam on Twitter about how terrible it is. Everybody drops out of the market, then they buy their ticket.
Yeah. Well, what the plastic surgery firm did was they set the price when you agree to purchase your boobs or nose or whatever it was, and then you had 48 hours to pay. So you could risk it. You could gamble with, hey, is it going to go? If it goes up, I can pay. I can wait and pay, or if it goes down, I can pay now, or, so you could end up paying more or less. And it's a risk for both sides, but that was kind of interesting to me. So I guess the same thing with them. I'm sure they just take the payment immediately. Whatever the cost is, you're paying for it, you're sending it, you're buying it, you're flying. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Had me bring up Bitcoin for boobs, so.
Well, yeah, you have to bring up Bitcoin for boobs. So the main thing that everybody's been waiting for is this Callisto airdrop. So do me a favor real quick, explain what is the difference, just broadly from what you've collected, what's the difference between an airdrop and a fork?
Okay, so an airdrop doesn't necessarily have to be, or isn't a fork of the coin. So you can get an airdrop for anything. So like the ETC CLO airdrop, it was kind of like the Litecoin Cash one, where they took a snapshot of the blockchain at 5,500,000, and they're going to run off of that from there on out. And everybody that had ETC at that point will get an airdrop of Callisto. So there's not a fork of the blockchain. It's actually just a snapshot of it. But when you look at airdrops in general, they don't necessarily have to even be related to, an instance like that. So like Ethereum is doing an airdrop, and they're basing it on a point system where if you basically market their coin for them during the ICO, you can build up points by sending out tweets about them and doing other stuff. And a lot of coins do this in their ICO phase. And then once you build up the points, they'll actually give you an airdrop of their coin. See, and that has nothing to do with an actual coin that's in existence, or a fork, or a soft fork, or a hard fork, or anything like that. So you can really get an airdrop for any means. It's just a way of distributing coins to a bunch of wallets, basically, what I understand. And I really probably need to do a little more research on the subject, to be completely honest with you.
Well, that's all right. I mean, I think it's new to everybody. Nobody really knows right now. All of this is so new. And then on top of that, I was with a buddy today who's just racking his brain over what the hell is going on with his Callisto, because he just, we waited for the block to hit, the block hit, and then everybody just kind of waited, and they, people are wondering, did I put it in the correct wallet? What's going on? And so what's the potential, like how long could it possibly take before you actually get your Callisto from your ETC?
I don't really know that either. I would say a couple of weeks, because basically what I understand is that, so they took the snapshot. Now they actually have to put their mainnet out there, and you won't actually get your distributed coins until the mainnet launch. I actually did quite a bit of research, and maybe I was looking in the wrong places, but I couldn't find an exact date for when that mainnet will launch.
So if I get this correct, everybody's going to get their coins based on them having it at that block point.
At block 5,500,000, yes. So if you owned ETC at that point, you will get an airdrop of CLO.
As long as you were in a wallet that was tied to that airdrop.
Correct.
And it doesn't matter. So one of the things you were telling me earlier is interesting. Yeah, you could sell right now.
And you would still get your airdrop, from what I understand.
Well, ETC is tanking, so...
Should have sold before.
So maybe buy more right now. I don't know.
Well, that's a kind of a fundamental trade that, like, well, obviously this is not investment advice, but
because we don't give you any.
We don't give you any. That's kind of a fundamental trend for cryptos. If you watch and you kind of pay attention to when there's going to be an airdrop or a fork or any of that, there's usually a run up on that coin up until even right before, and people will play that. They'll buy in knowing there's going to be an airdrop or a fork, and they'll ride that run up until right before, and then they'll sell off. And they don't even care about getting the airdrop or the fork coin. They just want to take those profits along the way. So you got to be careful about that, knowing when to buy into a fork or a airdrop, or knowing what the risk is going to be if you get that coin. Will the value be there still if I buy in later once that coin's already been run up? You got to do your research and just believe that it's either going to have the value after the fork or the airdrop, or take your losses.
Yeah, we're gonna. So everybody, stay tuned here too, because as more information comes out about Callisto and the Callisto airdrop, we're gonna be following this, and so we're gonna try to get everybody up to speed and hooked up and ready to launch with this thing. As more information comes available, we're gonna get it out to you guys.
As I understand as well, even if your wallet doesn't necessarily support the airdrop, you can still get the coin as long as you own the private keys. So you can export your private keys to a wallet that does support it. It gets a little fuzzy for me from there, but that's also an option. So if you're still interested in it and you didn't have your ETC in a wallet that supported it, you could definitely look into that route and might still be able to pull it out by exporting those keys.
So if I buy ETC today, did I miss the boat on it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because it's looking pretty tasty right now. It's actually way discounted right now. But
actually, Monero has a fork coming up, so I was looking at that to see, what the run up was on that and where it was at, and I don't know. That's just an interesting one to maybe take a look at if you're interested in forks and airdrops and getting those extra coins. Monero is one that's got one coming up here pretty soon.
One thing I don't understand, and I wish we can have somebody on to try to explain this, is a coin is going through this massively publicized airdrop. Callisto is, I hear about it everywhere. Everybody I know in the crypto space is talking about Callisto. What I don't know is why that's driving the price down in the ground. And then I wonder, does that have to do with Bitcoin kind of coming into an ascending flag right now and looking like it may be receiving some pressure to kind of drop back down?
Well,
maybe the timing of the two things are together, and is the Bitcoin negative pressure outweighing the interesting and coolness of getting the Callisto? I don't know.
I don't think so. It's kind of, I think, what I spoke to earlier, where the ETC run-up for Callisto started back in about February 6th or February 8th, where that's kind of when the announcement came out, maybe a little before that, maybe a little after that. But at that point, ETC was $14. So since then, it has doubled coming into the airdrop. And that's where a lot of people bought in and wrote it up and then just took their profits before they even got the airdrop. They took their money there instead of taking the risk on Callisto to see if it would actually be worth something. They bought in, wrote it up, took their profits, and said, to hell with Callisto.
All right. Okay, well, cool stuff, guys. Thanks for tuning in again to this special edition of Decentralized Daily. We appreciate you guys. Check us out at DTOG Podcast on Twitter and Facebook.